Hi there. Welcome to another Minecraft tutorial. This is Belmathuin. Today we're going to tackle the kelp farm. I've been playing around with this for a while now, and I think this may be the most efficient design that I could come up with. It's a total of 15 kelp blocks wide, or like 15 actual kelp wide, so the entire footprint is actually 17 wide. It also goes up 16 kelp blocks, so or 18 total blocks for the footprint, and it's got very minimal redstone. Now the problem I was having was I tried ways that would individually, like in this design here, if that observer sees something, it fires here and all the way around to the piston, and only fires that one piston. Because I was thinking that, at least at the time, I thought that letting each kelp grow up as high as it could before clipping it would be the most beneficial. That's why I tried different heights. But I kept running into a problem. For those that don't know, if you use your F3 screen, look over on the left or on the right hand side of your screen, you see targeted block Minecraft kelp, age 25, when you're looking at the top piece of kelp. Age 25 is the highest age it goes, and it's random. Like I broke that one, now that's age 14, it can grow up to 25. Broke it again, and it's, yeah. So you can see we're at age 6. If I break it, then that one's at age 15. So we run into the problem where some of these just stop growing before they hit the observer, and then you'd have to go into the farm, break that top kelp block to try to get a random number that will reach the observer. Not so good. Doesn't work. That sounds like a big pain in the butt. It doesn't sound automatic at all. So instead, I decided to go with 15 wide, so that no matter which one of these observers happens to get a kelp, they all go. My thought is that over the course of 15, at least one of these will be able to grow up to age 16 or higher. Or that's the hope, that's the thought process, that regardless of the randomness, even if all of those had stopped where they were, they're still going to get harvested, because one of these 15 is going to reach one of these observers, and then all of them start all over, and every time the piston hits all of these bottom blocks then become the top kelp block with a new random age. And wow, yeah, with the ticks, I've got the tick speed up to 1,000. The hoppers cannot keep up. I've emptied that chest a couple of times through testing. But yeah, that is the thought behind the farm. We want to take away any of the possibilities of failure just due to RNG. And I don't know, there might come a time when you just have some really bad luck and you might have to go in there and punch one of these. But it's going to be a whole lot fewer and farther between than with any of these designs here. The more effective design I'm finding also is a lot cheaper. Nobody wants to have to do an observer wall like this if they would be better off just doing one string. I'm not going to build the entire thing, but I did lay out the important parts that you might need to see. Your kelp block, or your kelp plant, will be planted on this block. You can see the pattern. It's 4 wide, and then a 5th one wide here to hold back the water stream, and there will be a 6th block back here for the redstone. And it is still 17 wide, and it's 18 tall, including the roof. All you're doing is observers all the way along. I chose the middle. You don't have to choose the middle. You can choose anywhere along this wall to put this observer that's facing up, because redstone will go 15 blocks. Now, if you were to make this like 30 blocks long, you could. You definitely could. You would have to put this in the center so that when it sends its pulse down to this layer of blocks right behind the pistons, so that it would still, so the signal would be able to extend to all of the pistons. All you're doing on these blocks that are directly behind the row of pistons, putting a redstone line with observer line going from the top right to there. So any of these, and also redstone all the way across here. So really super cheap. So any of these any of these observers see anything in front of them, all of this redstone is going to get lit up. That observer is going to see it, trigger that one, so on and so forth, all the way down to here, and that observer is going to light up that entire line. Now just remember, if you're making the farm a lot wider, you are definitely going to need to place this observer line in a place that will extend to all of the pistons. Or you could add a repeater there and there, but you would lose out on those two pistons right there. And I'm sure there's ways you could configure that. It's pretty much fully configurable. The piston line is 1 block above the kelp plant, the base of the kelp plant. And you're going to have a glass pane wall, very important, glass pane wall all the way up in the front. The pistons pop off the kelp floats up to the top, and the water is flowing out and down. You're going to place it like that. The water that is above the glass pane is just flowing water. It is not an actual water source. That's very important. When the kelp flows out, it's going to come out, hit the glass pane, fall straight down. The reason I have glass panes back here is because I found that if I had a block there, occasionally a kelp would like rest right there on the edge. I eliminated the problem completely by putting glass panes in here. You could use iron bars. I would recommend doing a couple of hoppers coming in to the middle chest, mainly because when this pops, it's going to have a lot coming out at once, and one hopper might not be enough to suck it all up. You will not have to fill this entire tank. You will be able to get away with picking an observer up here, placing water on it, just keep placing the water on these, and then taking some of that kelp you've gone out into the ocean to collect and sticking it there, because as it grows up, it'll turn all of those into source blocks. So you can watch it happening right now. Unfortunately, I didn't build up the walls there, so it's going to spill out. But, is that one already max height health? Yeah, that one's max too. Yeah, so you can see they stop pretty low sometimes. But it'll eventually turn all of those against the back wall into water sources and leave all these in this front row of water as flowing water. It's going to be a fairly efficient farm. It's going to be pretty easy to collect the resources for. You just need, for this specific setup, you just need 15 observers across, another 15 going down, so 30 observers, 15 pistons, and I don't know, what is that, 30 redstone dust. You're going to need a bunch of glass panes and some, but the rest of the blocks can be whatever you want. And if you like the looks of iron bars, use them instead. So that's my new kelp farm. If you liked what you saw, learned a thing or two, would like to see more, like, comment, subscribe. I've got other tutorials, I've got Let's Play series, and I've even delved a little bit into Ark. So stop on by, check those out too. And until next episode, hope everyone has a good night.